Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20. Breaks free of the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40 midfield. 40 30 to the coast. 20 15 Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it for Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. Listen, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya as well. Like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following my show's page, Shawn Maya in the morning. I love it. This is crazy. Guys, if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That is a little bell right next to the subscribe button, okay? That's a little bell, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching us on our mobile app, and wait, don't even tell me that you didn't know we had our mobile app. Come on. What are you doing? Listen, we have our own mobile app. So here's what you do. Wherever you get your apps from. It doesn't matter where you get your apps from, all right? Just go there. You type in Sports Zone Chicago, all right? And I don't care if it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Venture, Woolworth. I don't care. Just go there, type in Sports Zone Chicago. You download it. You take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew. And I mean a slew of articles. Thank you, Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. Yeah. Man, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. We have our own Roku channel. All right, Sports Zone Chicago we have our own Roku channel, so do me a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel, okay, right to your Roku television in the house. If you have 4 of them, download all 4 of them. Just do us that's solid. Do us a favor, guy. All right? Listen, put it right next to Netflix, Hulu, Max, Prime, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars, Showtime. Do it. All right? And you can watch us on the big screen. Hell, we're on the big screen, right? Mickey, Ficky, now. Now you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy, the CHI, at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you, folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IG and you do it just for the gram, well, just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Man, we have a phenomenal show, but I need you to get interactive with us today. So listen, whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, leave a question or comment on the platform. It'll come up here in the thread. All right, we'll get it up here on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, to all my peoples in the struggle, that is the reason this is the best morning Chicago sports talk show around, and that's you. All right? So bring them all, baby. We want all the smoke, all the questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. You know what The Rock said, baby. Don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's see, man. We are jumping in the chat like a son of a gun this morning, baby. I love it. I love it. Mark Kazak, good morning, Papa. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. You said you called me on Nomad last night. Excellent. 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 Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. I'm glad hopefully you become a follower here at Sports Zone Chicago, one of the new sports owners. We appreciate it. And we keep it real, man. I keep it real. I keep it a buck. I got no agenda. I have my preferences, what I see, what I think is the best in my opinion, but I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm just giving you most of the facts and the things that I know from my experience as a player. I played for 30 years, and as a coach, I coached for 15, 16 seasons. So I got a lot of football in me. All right. I got a lot of football in me. Cornelius, what up? He's back in the Mickey Ficky house. What up? The tea leaves are saying something, baby, and I like them. I like them a lot. Livette Lee, good morning, Ma. Thank you for tuning in on this House Music Monday. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. Excuse me. My man Armando Emeterio, Lara Junior. My man Junior's in the house. What up, Papa? And just for those of you who aren't sure, Junior was he blocked from me for like 4 years, 5 seasons. We were with the Chargers. Man, that's my dude right there, Armando. I love it. I love it. Jason, what's up, buddy? Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What? Oh, my God. Mr. Shorty's in the Mickey Ficky house. Mr. Shorty, what's up, Papa? Thanks for tuning in. You can't chat, but I'm listening. Hey, I appreciate it, baby. I appreciate it. That's what I'm talking about. That's loyalty, man. You like what you hear, you know what? You're like, bump it. I'm going to leave it on at work. I appreciate it, Shorty, man. Thanks for tuning in, baby. Thanks for tuning in. That's good stuff. Brandon Schutz in the Mickey Ficky house. Good morning, Papa. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. My man Luis Mejia in the house. Rise and grind, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. It is Super Bowl week, baby. Yes. Yay. I'm telling you, I'm fired up today, baby. My man James Ford in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you very much for tuning in. Patty Lara in the house. How are you, man? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Man, oh man. Short here full. My entire life changed with this new job, and it sucks. Hey, listen, remember, everything's temporary. Everything's temporary. All right. Good things, bad things, everything's temporary. It'll work itself out. I promise. Hey, but at least you get to listen to us. All right. At least you get to listen to us. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in today. Later as the show goes on, that, my peoples, I can tell you. That I can tell you for sure. All right, man, what a phenomenal. Did I say phenomenal? Phenomenal show, man. Oh, man. Woo, Charlie. No, not that one. Here we go. Come on. So at 9:50, my man Darnell Mayberry from The Athletic is going to join us. A lot is going on over on the west side, all right, over at the United Center. And most of it is not good. We're going to talk with him. He just wrote an article. We're going to post it on my personal page, on Sports Zone Chicago's personal pages as well. The article from Darnell Mayberry. He's a Bulls beat writer for The Athletic. Man, just a lot of craziness and dysfunction going on over on the west side. And then after, that's what I'm talking about. After that, about 10:15, my man Herb Howard from the Bigs is going to join us, and we're going to talk Bears football. All right. A development occurred yesterday that some people are taking as well, it depends on whose camp you're in. If you're camp Caleb, you're saying, it doesn't mean anything. If you're camp Justin, you're thinking, oh man, this is all signs indicate the tea leaves, as Cornelius so eloquently put it, are leading us towards something. All right. So take it for what it's worth. And remember, you know what? Here's one thing. I don't mind if we disagree. You don't have to like what I say. You don't have to agree with me. And that's cool. I don't have to agree with you. It's a wonderful thing about this country. I would just be respectful. All right. It just seems like every other platform, like Twitter and X and Facebook, and people they're laugh like, oh, I can't. You think this, and this. You're a clown. You're this. I'm like, well, first of all, your mom was a clown, but that's neither there. Like, there's no need to get disrespectful, because I don't agree. You deal with petulant. People are acting like petulant brats because someone doesn't agree with their take, doesn't agree with their point of view. Guys, we're not solving the world's problems here. We're not even solving the migrant crisis here in Chicago. Okay, we're talking sports. Okay, and we can look at things from different perspectives. We can believe different things. We can see different things. It's cool. It really is. It's really cool because in the big scheme of things, it really, 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 really doesn't matter. All right. So let's not get crazy and start calling people. And my people usually don't. They don't. All right. But I just know that a couple people, I was on Nomad's show last night, and a couple people came in there and just started calling people names and stuff like that. Like, come on, bro. Like, really? Is that serious? Where you got to come in and call people names? Because they don't agree with your point of view? I have the remnants of that little cough and cold that I had. Jason, you're right, baby. You're right. We can only go with what polls does. It's getting nasty as, about another person's view is a bit, not a bit, it's quite childish. But you have those people, whatever. If that's your life, cool. You don't got to bring that negativity, that negative bullshit over here. Trolls are real sensitive. I was earlier today. They're saying, I was just like, okay, cool. And here's the thing. I try to be nice. All right. I'm like, cool. That's your opinion. I respect it. I just don't agree with it. Well, what makes you think you saw Justin for 3 years? What makes you think he's the guy? He's not the guy. Okay. That's your opinion. I respect it. I don't agree with it. That's it. We can go on about our day. All right. Our day, our week, our month, our year. All right. You don't have to agree with me, and I don't have to agree with you. But you're not going to convince me with my eye, the football. I've had so many seasons of football under my belt. I'm going to see the way I see him. And most likely, I don't care who says it. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change my point of view because I'm confident in what I've seen, in my experiences in this game. So, again, we can just agree to disagree, and that's cool. Like I said, most people here, this doesn't usually happen here, but, we're getting more and more followers, which I'm extremely happy about. Okay, and the word's getting out. All right, make sure you smash the like button, hit the like button where you're at, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on YouTube, all right, our mobile app, just hit the like button, smash the like button for us. Okay, people get mad when you don't entertain them because someone invites you to a fight doesn't mean you have to accept the invitation. I try and keep it above board. Hey, you know what? Have a great day. I disagree with you. But people want to, I don't know. I don't know. People love it. They love it. I don't know. I guess this is the only excitement they get in their life. But yeah, I'm excited, man. It's a great show. All right. Darnell Mayberry at 9:50 and my guy Herb Howard at 10:15. And we're going to talk about a lot, man. We got a lot to talk about. And man, I just, with all that there is to talk about, where are you going? Not that one. Not that one. Wow, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't delete. Silly me. Silly me. Damn, that's crazy. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Well, listen, guys. You know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's see, which way do we go? First top of the morning topic. Let's start with my crappy White Sox. The White Sox, I'm telling you, they're just a poor excuse for an organization. The White Sox trade Gregory Santos. He was a closer last year. All right, to Seattle for prospects, right-handed pitcher, Prelander Baroa. Okay. And then also outfielder Zach Del Roche. Now we're going to have to go find another ninth inning guy. I don't know how many times we're going to be in the lead. In ninth inning, we're going to need a closer. Okay, I don't know how many times. I don't anticipate it being a lot. Okay, but what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? You know, this organization just continues to suck the life out of you. All right, we've heard about the Dylan Cease, the attempts to trade Dylan Cease. All right, the gutting, the Tim Anderson being gone. All right, they're not going to trade Luis Robert. They can't get rid of Yoel Moncada and his contract. They can't get rid of Eloy Jimenez. Yeah, it's a shit show. All right, so let's stay with it. Next top of the morning topic: the White Sox also traded right-handed pitcher prospect Christian Mena. All right, to the Arizona Diamondbacks for outfield prospect Dominic Fletcher. What they're doing is they're trying to find somebody for right field. This is what it is. Apparently, Oscar Colas is not the answer. And maybe he's going to be in the mix as well. But they're trying to find a right fielder. All right. We got Benintendi for left. We got Lubov in center. We need a right fielder. And they're just taking as many swings as many bites of the apple as they can, trying to bring in a whole bunch of different outfield prospects. I don't even know. Shawn and Greg, we both don't like what the White Sox are doing. And it's a shame. It's a shame. All right. Our window closed before it even opened. All right. Some horrible personnel moves, decision moves, managerial moves. No one to hold these players accountable. Our White Sox have they've gone to hell in a handbasket. And they've gone to hell in a handbasket, and that's a shame because I love baseball. It's probably my third favorite sport, but I do love it in the summer because tickets are easy to get. I mean, very rarely are games sold out. I mean, that's just across MLB unless you're Yankee Stadium, or Dodgers. But tickets are easy to get, and it's a nice chill 2.5 hours. All right, 3 hours if you tailgate, 3.5 hours if you tailgate. You know what I mean? It's a nice time to catch up with friends, talk. It's a great time. And unfortunately, I will not be at Sox Park very much this year. I may go to a game 2 or 3 times. All right, 2 or 3 times. Because I don't like what they're doing. I'm not going to support them. I'm not giving them my money. Bottom line. And somehow I don't think Mr. Reinsdorf's going to go broke if he doesn't get my $30 for parking and $20, $30, $40, $50 for a ticket and money for my concessions. I don't think, but it's just a principle. I'm not giving it to someone who doesn't give a shit about us and to put a winning product on the field. It's that simple. Nothing more, nothing less. C'est la vie. Russell, good morning, Papa. How are we doing? Listen, they're not having a press conference till after the Super Bowl. Nope. They don't want the new coaches. They don't want them being bombarded with questions about Justin and Caleb and all these other things, and they're not. That's why they haven't had it. That's why they haven't had it. So, yeah. Keith, thanks for tuning in, Papa. What is it with the organizations in Chicago where they fail to develop talent, identify great coaches, or pay players? You know what? That's a good question. I don't know. The Cubs seem to be the only team right now. Okay. They brought all the kids up when they hired Theo. Okay. They allowed him to cook. All right. He went and he got a lot of those prospects, a lot of those people on the 2016 World Series championship team. All right. He brought him a lot of them over. Brought Anthony Rizzo over. Okay. Rossi, Lester. All right. Baez. He brought him over, brought him up. Okay. And then maybe he saw the time had run. Their time had run its course. So I don't know. The White Sox, they don't identify talent. There's only 4 people in the White Sox history in the last 40 years, or maybe in their history, that they've drafted, developed into an all-star. It was Tim Anderson, who's a third baseman, Joe Creedy, Frank Thomas, and one other person. That's it. In like 40 years or 50 years. That's the only person you've drafted that turns into an all-star. That's a problem. All right, the Bulls with Garpax, that whole situation was terrible and looks like it's a continuation with Acme. Yeah, I don't know, Keith. I really don't. I really, really don't. A lot of time it seems as if we're acting and behaving like a small market, mid-market town, like we're Kansas City or something. I think we're the Royals. Okay. And it's a shame when you have a phenomenal sports town like Chicago is, to have owners who don't care, who have owners who's all about the bottom line for them. Okay. And that's the thing, is like, it's frustrating. It really, really frustrating, because we deserve a win. We deserve winning teams across all sports leagues. Okay. Think of all the great players to come out of Chicago, hoopers. All right. And the Bulls can't, not since Derrick Rose. And have they truly been relevant? All right. That's 8 years ago, 10 years ago. You know what I mean? And if not more. All right, the Blackhawks, they're doing it. They're starting to rebuild again. All right, we got to give that time. The White Sox, I told you, they've gone to hell in a handbasket. The Cubs are in the middle of it. The Bears are in the middle of it. Okay, it just seems like there's always something, always something. I don't know, I don't know what else how else to put it. So, anyway, the next top of the morning topic. This. For real. Zach LaVine has decided to undergo season-ending foot surgery. Yeah. So he ended up playing in 20 games, 30 games this year? He's going to sit out, Mr. $215 million. $215 million. All right. I don't know. I think it was a ploy from, he's with Clutch Sports now. I think it was a ploy. Say, okay, fine. I'm tired of all this trade talk. We'll just have season-ending surgery, which made it impossible for the Bulls to trade him. It's going to make it very difficult in the offseason. No one's going to know, no one's going to know what his foot is like. Is he back at 100%? Is he 80%? 90? You know what I mean? So no one's going to trade him. So you got to wait till next year's trade deadline. So now we have another season with Zach. And again, who's going to want to take his $215 million contract? Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people. So I think it was just a ploy by Clutch Sports, his representation. I just think it was. So I don't know. This is what I'm talking about. There's just a lot of craziness going on here in Chicago sports, and it sucks. It sucks. You know, it sucks. There's just we should be moving from season to season to season. Okay, with good teams. You know. I don't know. One thing that I didn't do, had to get that on. Oh, it's rough being a Chicago sports fan right now. Really, really is. But there's a silver lining at the end of in this cloud. There really is. It really is. And Mark, the thing about Lonzo, he's back, so he should be ready by next season, is what they said. He's going to miss the rest of this season, so he should be back by next season. Well, Keith, their medical staff has been questionable for a long time, man, a really long time. A little Dang, remember when he had to have the spinal tap? They're like, "Oh, he's fine, don't worry about it," and he had to end up going to the hospital. Had a spinal tap, and like, oh, well, maybe something is wrong with Luol. You know, the constant, the stuff with Joakim, and yeah, maybe. And it's funny you mentioned that on the back of the Sun Times today. It's Croc and Bull story, and they're talking about in the article. It says, of course, Bulls are snake bitten. And they're talking about, did Michael Jordan curse the Bulls when he left? It's a good question. It's a very good question. One I don't know. One I don't know. Well, listen, let's take a quick break. All right, let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we have more top of the morning topics. All right, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
There's some concerns here that Dad's a little too involved. Now, dads are very, very involved in high school and college quarterbacking. So that's just part of the new world we live in. But I still contend, you're going to think I'm nuts here. I do think it's possible that Washington trades up and Chicago allows Washington to trade up because Caleb and his group do not want to go to Chicago. He's from the D.C. area. I think Dan Quinn is considered the big concern for Caleb Williams, and you have to admit this. Where you land matters. Chicago has never developed a star quarterback.
Never. And here's the funny part where he goes and walks it back.
I had said, because I've heard some concerns from them. Chicago Bears have been offensive and quarterback quicksand for much of my life. I said, listen, the Chicago thing is dicey, and I don't think everybody in this camp loves it, and I don't think they do. But then I was driving home from dinner last night about 8, and I got called by somebody in Caleb's camp. Somebody called and said, hey, we just don't want to be viewed as anti-Chicago. And they said, we do think there's a way to win quickly there, and it's the Houston way. Defensive coach, couple of weapons, cap space. And he said he thinks the defense is actually going to be really, really good. So he follows it. But Caleb's like, hey, man, Chicago's a big city. I love their passion. I don't want to go somewhere that doesn't care, where they're tarping off the upper deck. Like, I want to go somewhere where there's massive pressure and I've got to be great. And that's how he thinks. So I think his camp was like, hey, Colin, whoa. I don't want to be anti-guy.
Colin, just to clarify, Caleb Williams is not stating that he doesn't want to play in Chicago.
No. I was told about 6 to 8 weeks ago that his camp was concerned.
That first clip courtesy of Fox, that clip courtesy of ESPN. Come on. All right, come on. Whatever issue, wherever you are on that particular side, cool. Whatever. Oh man, that's yeah. So 17 years ago, yesterday, this happened.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle at the 15 to the 20, breaks free of the 25 to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Touchdown Bears!
Let me tell you, if you're a Bears fan, you know exactly where the hell you were at that particular moment. You remember exactly, vividly, as if it was yesterday. You knew where you were at. I was in Pilsen. At a Super Bowl party. I was in a basement apartment. We were so excited. The people who were throwing the party, they printed out the words to bear down Chicago Bears, so they put it around the room. All right, so you can read it and see and sing along every time the Bears scored, and obviously they scored on the opening kickoff. That's how crazy it was. All right, we thought we were going to win the Super Bowl. I just knew we were after the opening kickoff. No one had ever done it. Devin Hester, rookie season, dude. That just watching that gave me chills. You know, yeah, that gave me chills, man. It was awesome, 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 awesome. Uh, sad news, man. Sad news. Legendary actor Carl Weathers passed away at the age of 76. He was known as Apollo Creed. All right, recently he was on The Mandalorian. He was in was it Happy Gilmore, uh, Action Jackson, which was one of my favorite movies. He was with Vanity. God, she was smoking, and it was. He's one of those guys who's larger than life. All right, he's a lot. He played he played for the Raiders, a linebacker for the Raiders. He played in the CFL as well. And Stallone had a little private message, and he was fighting back the tears. He was fighting back the tears because he's known him since, for what, 30 years now? Over 70, so we're talking 50 years. That's crazy. But legendary actor Carl Weathers, a.k.a. Apollo Creed, passed away the other day at the age of 76. That one hurt. That one hurt me. The one thing that really sucks, that really, really, really sucks as you get older, is a lot of your heroes start dying. And that lets you know how old you're getting. And man, Apollo Creed when I first saw him, I was like, holy sheesh. Like, his body was perfect. Just cut. And obviously they glistened it up with, oil or something for the movie. But man, his physique was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it was it was a blow when I heard that. It was a blow. And that hurt. That hurt big time. I didn't want to talk about this, but Patrick Mahomes Sr. There's his mugshot. Patrick Mahomes Sr. Yes, that's Patrick Mahomes, quarterback of the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. His dad was arrested. All right. Saturday in Texas in charge of driving while intoxicated, according to online jail records. He's my age. He's 50. He's 53. He's facing a charge of driving while intoxicated, third or more. He was released from jail on Sunday. The charge is a third-degree felony, and by Texas law carries a sentence of up to 10 years in prison if he's convicted. According to Us Magazine, this was the sixth time Mahomes has been arrested for the offense. It's 8 days before his son is supposed to play in the Super Bowl. It's unfortunate. You got to do better. Got to do better. It sucks when you got money. Your son just signed $500 million deal. Take a damn Uber. Get a car. You know what I mean? It's, I don't know. It's sad, man. It really, really, really sucks. It really, really, really sucks. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. But you kind of have to. It's like, why would you do that to embarrass your son? Like that's embarrassing. It's not the first time, the second or third or fourth. It's your sixth time. There's a problem there. There's a problem there. And he's got to get help. He has to. He's got to get help. All right? Because you don't know. I mean, what if he hits someone and kills somebody? You know what I mean? Then things are a lot different. All right, they may attack. They may sue him. They're going to sue him. They're going to sue Patrick. Like all this stuff. Like when you're a close relative of a celebrity, immediate family, you can't act a fool because everything comes back to that celebrity. It comes back. So yeah. Well, next top of the morning topic, and this is the one that kind of got everything going. Cliff Kingsbury. According to Adam Schefter, the Washington Commanders are hiring Cliff Kingsbury as their new offensive coordinator. This is from Adam Schefter's account. This is what got the whole thing started yesterday with Caleb Lovers versus Justin Fields aficionados. The Caleb cultists, and they call them the Fields boys or whatever. This has been the most polarizing situation I've ever seen as a Bear fan. This is worse than Sox Cubs. Worse. Okay. Cliff Kingsbury was hired as the offensive coordinator. He backed out of the job of the same position with the Las Vegas Raiders. He takes it. He goes to interviews Washington, gets offered that job, takes that job. They're hiring him. Leads to speculation that Washington's going to trade up for Caleb. He was on USC staff. I don't know exactly how much interaction he had with him. He was an offensive consultant. And you could look at it as any way you want. Whatever side of the fence you're on. If you're Team Justin, you're thinking, okay, well, now he's, Washington's making a move to go after Caleb Williams. If you're a Caleb guy, you're like, it doesn't mean anything. Bears are still going to take Caleb Williams. Yeah, I tend to believe that it has some meaning. I tend to believe that they are trying to get, and I've said it to you before, and here's what I need you guys to understand. All right, people, to stop thinking and they're playing checkers and realize this is a chess match. Okay? The Bear, I'm telling you, I don't even think the Bears have a choice. They're not getting Caleb, in my opinion. And here's why. I'll explain it to you, but some people, we got a lot of new people on here, and it's about money. You realize this is entertainment. NFL wants parity. And what better way to build a franchise that is downtrodden? Remember, they just got rid of Daniel Snyder as their owner. What better way to put asses in the seats for the new ownership group, which is partnered with, which includes Magic Johnson, than bringing the hometown kid home? All right, the fact that he's a generational quarterback. Okay, think of how many people are in the DMV area and are going to want to see this kid. Think of all the people who are in the DMV area who saw this kid grow up. He went to Gonzaga High School. My college teammate, great friend of mine, was his coach. For him to come back, right, his story writes itself. The story writes itself. You know, it writes itself. And the thing that the people don't understand or don't want to understand or whatever, I don't know what. This is about money. At the end of the year, at the end of the fiscal year, the owners are still going to get a check for $300+ million. Every single owner, except the Green Bay Packers. They are owned by shareholders, not an individual owner. Think of what the NFL tells people what to do. NBA tells teams what to do. Why do you think they don't have the lotteries and everything live anymore? Remember they used to have the lottery, the ping pong balls and this and that. Stop that. All right, they stopped it. All right, the Bears don't have a choice. This is about money. Caleb's going to Washington. All right, he's putting asses in the seats. Everybody's going to want to see this kid. Jersey sales are going to go through the roof. $100 plus a pop. $150 probably a pop. It makes sense for this new ownership group in Washington. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll eat crow. I don't have no problem with it. Put a little lemon pepper on it. We'll fry it hard. Give me some Sprite, and we're good. But just follow the money. It makes a lot more sense for Caleb to go to Washington, the place he's from, and revive that franchise. It just makes too much sense. Believe it or not, you may, again, don't think small. Don't think checkers. This is chess. And for the NFL, it's about millions and millions of dollars. Anyway, speaking of millions of dollars and people who would love to play checkers, my Bulls. Actually, they just don't give a damn. They don't even play check. They just don't care about us. They just don't give a damn about their fan base. My next guest is a good friend of the program. He's been rocking with us for years over here at Sports Zone Chicago, and you've definitely heard his name, read his articles. He's the Bulls beat writer for The Athletic. You can find him on Twitter at Darnell Mayberry. Guys, let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, our man, Darnell Mayberry. Darnell, what's up, Papa? Good morning.
Good morning, Shawn. How are you?
I am wonderful, bro. Wonderful. Happy with the news, the Bears news that Cliff Kingsbury got hired by Washington. Because I love Justin. I think Justin's a dude. A lot of other people don't agree with me. They're entitled to the wrong opinion. That's fine. But I digress. I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy New Year. How's the fam doing?
The fam's good, man. I'm a little under the weather, so please bear with me. I got a little respiratory thing going on. It's just
you caught that, dude. I caught that last week.
It's bad. What were your symptoms?
I had it seemed really odd. I had a cough, but it was like independent of everything. Yeah. Like once I stopped coughing, I was fine. But it was a dry cough when I started coughing. It was very violent. It'd be like 3 or 4 or 5 times, and it was really, really powerful. And then luckily I got it. I went and had to get a shitload of freaking throat lozenges and stuff to keep it from being irritated. But it hurt, and then it started to ease up, and I still have the remnants of it now. A lot of phlegm, a lot of everything, and just man, it was bad. And I lost 9 pounds, bro. I lost 9 pounds.
Yeah, I'm having some of the same things. Sounds like it's the exact same thing. Just a lot of coughing, and so please bear with me, man. I don't sound the best right now.
But you look great, dog. So who cares, bro?
I appreciate it.
So the Bulls, man, what the hell's going on over there, bro? We read your article the other day. Make sure we check it out. I'm gonna post it up on my site and Sports Zone Chicago side. But you talked about the craziness going on over on the West Side. All right, Zach LaVine now has determined, or maybe Clutch Media or Clutch Sports has determined, that you know what, I'm done for the year. All right, he's gonna undergo season-ending foot surgery. Dude, what the hell? What's that about? How many games did he end up playing? Like 25, 30, something like that?
25. It just wasn't good. He missed 17 straight with this same foot injury that cost him some time, all that time in December. So
Mm-hmm.
The one thing about Zach is, he's always told us that if he can play, he's going to play. If he can play through it, he's going to play through it. So I give him a little more credence that if this is something that he's saying he can't play through, he can't feel like he's going to be himself coming out of this, going down the stretch for the rest of the season, then I take him at his word that he needed the surgery. Obviously, the conspiracy theorists out there and going to point to Clutch and say, well, they orchestrated this. They didn't want him traded to somewhere else, that he didn't want to play, a team that he didn't want to play for. But, Zach wants to play basketball. And to sit out the last 32, 33 games of the season, that goes against everything that we've known Zach LaVine to be in his time here in the Chicago Bulls uniform.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, What was your take? I mean, you're around those guys every day. There was a lot of in speculation about Zach buying in. Zach went down, DeMar went down. All of a sudden, them jokers started winning. Billy Donovan looked like a really good head coach. Like, oh, snap, this is what Billy Ball looks like. Then all of a sudden, DeMar comes back. He's like, it seemed like he bought in. All right, they kept winning. Not like they're in first in the East or anything like a couple years ago, but they started winning on a more consistent basis. And so the question lingered: if and when Zach comes back, will he buy in? Your thoughts on whether or not he bought in? Because they started winning a couple games. They won a few games with him still when he came back. Is this the type of ball he wants to play, or does he want to be ball dominant like him and DeMar were the last couple of seasons?
Yeah, he wants to be ball dominant, and there's no doubt about that. That's his style. That's what his preference. That's how he feels like he best plays this game. That's how he's played it his whole life. But he hasn't really won throughout his life, and that's just the hard truth on Zach LaVine's career. High school, college, pro level. Zach LaVine's never been on winning teams that won at a high level. So, playing his way is only going to get him so far. And I think that's what Billy Donovan has been trying to say for the last 3-4 seasons now, is that Zach can go out there and score 30, 35 a night if he wants to. But they're going to win 30, 35 games every year. If he wants to become an elite player playing for an elite team, he needs his teammates. He needs to focus more defensively for 48 minutes. He needs to make sure he's taking care of the ball better and making better fourth quarter decisions. All the things that we've talked about, Shawn, but over the years with Zach LaVine.
Mm-hmm.
When he came back, he was a different player. He was doing more with less. He was limiting his usage, taking more catch and shoot threes, things like that, playing in transition, being more of a facilitator and getting others involved, and especially Kobe White. So to me, it seemed like that was a stretch to expect Zach LaVine to continue playing like that throughout the season. It felt like he was trying to go along to get along and just kind of waiting for things to break back his way and say, maybe, sure, I showed you guys I could play like this. Maybe we're not going to start winning. Now I'm going to go back to doing what I want to do. But you're right, Shawn. They were winning when he was playing like that. So it just seemed like it was an even stronger message to Zach to say, this is how you have to play in order for us to be successful.
And, guys, we're talking with Darnell Mayberry, the Bulls beat writer for The Athletic, talking Bulls basketball here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. I loved it, dude. When he came back, before he came back, I said, look, it's not a foregone conclusion that he's getting traded. I'm like that. There's 215 million reasons why there could be a bump in the road and him being traded. I said, but if Zach comes back and buys in, like Zach's one of the most and there's tons of athletes. Damn near everybody in the NBA is athletic. But dude, he's one of the most athletic people that I've seen. We've seen him play defense. We've seen him rebound. We've seen him assist, facilitate. We've seen him do everything when he wants to. When he can be a lockdown defender. When he wants to, he can be a great facilitator. When he wants to, he can average 6 to 8 rebounds a game. When he wants to. My only question was, how bad does he want to do it? And I said, because if you get Zach back who buys in, that's one hell of an addition the Bulls would have gotten back, okay, which they did for a while. A guy who buys in, who's in transition. Dude, he's one of the best catch and shoot three-point shooters in the league. Why wouldn't he want to do something? Continue to say, hey, I'm making 215. I'm scoring this way. Why not continue scoring that way? It just didn't make sense to me why he would deviate from something that he's so good at. You think that's part of his representation? He's part of him just being a hardhead youngster? Why do you think that he's deviated from something that he's so good at?
Let me maybe use a Bears reference for you. Let's go back to your man Justin Fields. The guy is mobile. He's agile. It'd be like saying, let's limit Justin Fields to the pocket. Justin Fields will look like, come on, man, why would you want me to be a pocket passer and I can get out the pocket and make plays? Zach LaVine saying, I can get out of the pocket and make plays, but you want to limit and confine me to the pocket. I can understand why Zach LaVine is saying, that's not my game. I like to roll out. I like to make things happen. But that's not best for the Bulls. It's clearly not what's best for the Bulls. So you have a player who feels like he thrives playing a certain way or a certain style, but the team clearly thrives when he's not playing that style. So it's a little bit of a disagreement or disconnect.
Conflict of styles. Yeah, disconnect, bro.
Philosophies is what it is. And so the Bulls have to figure out a way to get Zach LaVine healthy, first of all, and then secondly, get on the same page with him and say, regardless of what you've been in your career, this is how we need to play moving forward in order for the franchise to be successful. And if that's not possible, then it's time to trade him and not even care about what you get back. Just cut your losses and try to dump the salary. He's got 3 years and $138 million left on his contract after this season. And that's a lot of money for a guy who's made it clear that he's open to playing somewhere else. It's a soft trade request. And so if that's how he's feeling, then at some point you just need to cut bait and not worry about the haul that you're trying to get back.
Yeah, I mean, and there are rumors, all right? There are rumors that were confirmed that he was out. I mean, because he had the inflammation for 6 weeks. I'm like, damn, dude. I see people with pumpkin heads come back fast. Inflammation going down sooner than 6 weeks, dog. I was like, I mean, I knew what it was. We all knew what it was. They were just trying to trade him, and no one wants that contract. What's the likelihood of him getting moved in the offseason? And if not the offseason, because people may still be leery about his foot, next trade deadline, because now the money that he's owed will be a lot less, and it'll only be 2 years on that deal left. What's the likelihood of him getting moved at the trade deadline next year?
It's hard to say right now. I mean, that's a whole year away, and Zach LaVine has a lot to prove coming back off of another surgery. Obviously different from his knee, but now it's his foot. So he's got a lot to prove. He's got a lot of money on that deal. And before this, I mean, teams were already wondering if he's a winning player, wondering if he could be the second best player on the team, if not the best player on the team at that money. And so there's so many different question marks surrounding LaVine that now that he's having this foot surgery and is going to miss at least 4 months into the summer and the offseason, that's just a lot of red flags on Zach LaVine for another team that would be interested in bringing him in before the next trade deadline.
What's up with that dude? What's up with Agent Zero, bro? Because he looks like a different young man. He is confident. He steps out of his car, the parking lot, he's in range. Talk to me about the maturation of Kobe White, and just talk to me about that whole thing, dude, because I've enjoyed watching him grow. I mean, hell, he grew up in front of our eyes, dude. He came here, 19 years old? You know what I'm saying? Like, as a kid. And watching him develop, watching the team not give up on him. That's first and foremost. But watching him develop into, in my estimation, a hands-down all-star has been extremely, extremely refreshing. Talk to me about you. Like I said, you're there. You're with him every game, dog. Talk to me about what you've seen in his maturation process from a 19-year-old kid who got here from Carolina to today.
Yeah, his resiliency is what stands out to me the most. The team didn't give up on him, but they sure tried to trade and draft over him, a lot, bringing in so many different guys, Tomas Satoransky, Javon Carter, Ayo Dosunmu. I mean, all of these guys have been brought in, Goran Dragic, when you had Kobe White sitting right there the whole time. So it's not like the Bulls saw this coming. I mean, they went out and got guard after guard to try to come in here and play minutes that Kobe White probably should have been playing all along in terms of accelerating his development. And so he was able to withstand all of those different things, being in the starting lineup, being out of the starting lineup, having the ball in his hands, playing off the ball at the 2, sometimes the 3. So he's been through a lot in his 5 seasons in Chicago. And I'm right there with you, Shawn. It's really fun to see him break out this season and really continue to develop. You can see that after what he's putting together this season, next year, we're going to expect an even bigger jump from him. And that's going to be the next level for Kobe White. Can he refine and fine-tune his dribbling, ball handling that much more? Can he get that much more consistent with his shooting and decision-making? And then basically be able to take over games more consistently with his scoring in the fourth quarter. Those are the next levels that you'd like to see Kobe White take. But I give him all the credit for what he's done this season. This has been a breakout season. He should be in the conversation for most improved player of the year.
I agree. I can't argue that at all. Hell yeah, he should be. And it's not being a homer. It's being watching a dude, like you said, just against adversity. Has he talked to you about anything? Like, at times, like, man, it was tough, but I just, you know what I mean? Like, because you're there, and like, what got him through this? What got him, to continue to work on his 3-point shooting, continue to work on his ball handling, continue to work on his facilitating. It still needs work. Don't get me wrong, but it's noticeably improved when he came in as a rookie. I mean, again, he's 19 years old, probably didn't play a lot of defense in AAU ball in high school. Dude, his game has really stepped up. Has he talked about anything and what he's done to get to this point?
Yeah, Kobe's work ethic is incredible, and he'll tell you that. You can see that. He's often coming back, and ever since he was a rookie, he would go back into the Advocate Center at night and shoot with his brother Will, late night shooting sessions, and he would just always put in a ton of time on his game. And so I think you're starting to see that paying off. He also credits his family. I just mentioned his brother, his mom and sister. They're very close. They come visit him when they can here in Chicago, and his teammates. He always credits his teammates and coaches for giving him confidence, instilling in him belief that he can go out there and make a big impact on games. And so, he credits those things, but really the work ethic that I see in Kobe White, he's never been discouraged and publicly and, showing that on the court, pouting, anything like that. He just goes out there and continues to try to do things the right way, play the game the right way, and work on his game to be the best player he can be.
Man, he's turned into one hell of a player, man. And guys, we're joined by Darnell Mayberry. He's a Chicago Bulls beat writer for The Athletic, talking Bulls basketball here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. What's the situation with DeMar? Is he likely to get moved? Because he's in his mid-30s, man, and he's definitely not part of the future, but he's still still legit and viable option down the stretch. Maybe not as much as the last couple of years, but he's still a viable option. What do you think the Bulls are planning to do with him as the deadline approaches this week?
Yeah, it would be sort of surprising if the Bulls re-signed DeMar DeRozan this offseason, given where they are now. And it doesn't look like they're going to be a championship contender anytime soon. So, and I wrote this in the article at The Athletic, why re-sign him? He's going to be, I think, 35 in August. 35. Yep. And that's going to be a pretty hefty contract, probably at least 2 years. I know DeMar DeRozan has been reported by The Athletic, Shams Charania, that they want a longer deal than 2 years, DeMar DeRozan's side. So
what do you want, 10 years? I'm at 35.
If you want 3-4 years, the Bulls got to be asking themselves for what? And so DeMar's been a great ambassador here. He's been an all-star here. He's put the franchise on his back here. He's moved into the background a little to try to defer to Zach and Kobe and at times Vooch. So he's done everything that you can ask of him. Obviously, people would like to see him be more consistent defensively, maybe pass a little bit more, especially in crunch time. Those are all things that, you can work on. But you've got a star player here in Chicago that's been a great ambassador for your franchise. And that's been worth. DeMar has earned his contract here in Chicago.
That definitely goes a long way. You're right.
It would be hard for him to earn a second contract and to be worth what a second contract would be offered for him. So the thing of me is, if you can dedicate those resources elsewhere, then you're thinking strategically. Then you're playing chess, not checkers. But the fact that DeMar is turning 35, I just don't see a long-term future for him in Chicago. So I'm going to be interested in seeing what the Bulls do before Thursday to see if they can move him to maybe a contender that wants that expiring contract and take a chance to try to win a championship with DeRozan. Get off of him. Get some assets. Get some long-term chips that you can build around and move on from that asset. Sell high while you can. Don't make the same mistake that you just did with Zach LaVine.
Talk to me about Ayo before we let you go. Talk to me about Ayo. I'm still a little concerned with him. Like to me, it seems like he's kind of in limbo. Like he hasn't, in my opinion, taken that step that we wanted him to take. But they, and he was older coming out of school, so it's not like we had him at 19 years old. All right, he stayed at Illinois for 3 years, so I expected him to be a little further along. He still seems kind of lost out there. Is that just me, or does he have a defined role, or how comfortable is he with this team this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think you bring up an interesting question about his role and his comfort playing the role he's been asked to play. But I do push back on the, he's not making an impact. He's going out there. I think he's having a nice bounce back season from last year. And that's been good to see in Ayo that he can put behind a disappointing season last year and come back better. I do like the way that he's just attacking the rim. I like the way he's finishing a lot of times when he gets there. His three-point shot is getting more consistent, I think. He's looking more comfortable with that. So he's doing some good things. And obviously, defensively, you can always count on Ayo to give you all he's got on that end of the floor as well. So I like the bounce-back season he's having. The role is – like he's just kind of like a utility player at this point. And I think he can be a little bit more than that. But on this roster, with the guys that are in front of him, I think without Zach LaVine, that's going to open up a lot more opportunities for Ayo. So these last 31, 32 games, whatever it is, I'm curious to see how Ayo takes advantage of this moment because there's a big opportunity for him without Zach LaVine in the lineup.
I hope so, man. I do like Ayo, and that is me just being a homer, dude. He is a Southside kid. My guy Lance, who hosts, What's Up, Cuz, was his coach. And you just always want to see, good families and good people succeed, and even if it's not here, as long as he does it, if he's a 10-year vet, dude, I'm happy. I mean, he shouldn't have any, what I'm saying? Like he's set. He won the game of life. You know what I mean? So I just wish him the best, and I really hope he finds a role and he settles in. Because as well as I do, like it doesn't matter what your role is, just give me your role. Because players will adapt to the role that they're given. All right, don't ask, you know what I'm saying? And you give him a role that he can adapt to, that he can fit into. Man, he's gonna morph into what that role needs, and I just hope he's getting. Very last question before we let you go, Papa. I appreciate it, especially under the weather, man. I can tell you're a gamer, bro. You're a gamer. Just like me, because I'm under the weather, don't matter. I got to be on, dog. I got to be on now. Alex Caruso, what about him? Is he going to stick around because he's carrying some value? The Olympic team wants him. LeBron wants him over there. I know he's sad that he left the Lakers, but what's the situation with AC? I love his style of play, but he could be very valuable to a contender.
Yeah, for the longest, I've said and written that it makes no sense to trade Alex Caruso if you're trying to build a competitive club, but the Bulls may not be that moving forward. So at this point, the best way to build a competitive club is to go out and get assets from some of the talent that you have now that's clearly not meshing and working well together. And Alex Caruso is one of the biggest trade chips you have. Team-friendly contract right at $10 million at the end of his contract next season. I would, if I'm Arturas Karnisovas, I'm calling the Lakers and I'm making Alex Caruso available, and I'm taking the most that they are willing to offer me. I want a young player or players. I want picks, and I'm going to say this guy is going to help you make a deep run into the playoffs. So they know exactly who Alex Caruso is. Lakers fans are killing Rob Pelinka for even trading him, and so to give them an opportunity to get him back, put a premium on that, and thank Alex Caruso for his time and send him on his way. Get some assets in return and try to accelerate your rebuild process. But holding on to him at this point I don't see the point of that. Just like I don't see the point of how long DeMar DeRozan.
Man, my cousin lives out in L.A. and when they made the move, he called me. He was cussing me out. I was like, "What?" I didn't even know what. I didn't even hear about it at the point. I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Dude, you got Alex Caruso." I'm like, "And?" He's like, "Bro, you don't understand." He goes, "Alex Caruso." He goes, "I know you know sports." He goes, "Just watch him a couple games and you'll see what I'm talking about. He's not with my Lakers anymore. He's over with you guys." And after the first couple games, I was like, "Oh shit, okay. I see why LeBron wanted him. I see why, because the dude does everything." So yeah, I like him. His time here has been good. It's unfortunate that it's been marred with injury. Before that, it's unfortunate him and DeMar and Lonzo Ball really couldn't, be a little 1-2 punch in the backcourt, because I like them when they're playing defense together. It's just a bad set of circumstances, and I wish him well, and I hope they do move him, and get some more assets. Hey, Darnell, great stuff up. I appreciate it. I really appreciate you coming on. I know you're a little under the weather, so I really appreciate you doing that. But before you go, two things. One, the thing you're doing with your little lady, with your daughter, how's that going? The financial stuff going with her?
Money Talks, man. It's going great. It's growing. I'm at Substack.
Is that the hat and stuff you're wearing?
Yeah, Money Talks, man. This is the merch. So not for sale, just it's but it's mine. It's mine and my
better
daughter.
Be for soon. I'm going swag. We want swag.
it's all about teaching her how to be smarter with money. So anytime I can wear our brand, our company label, logo, it's about her. So that's what I represent, and just want to teach her to be smarter about money. And people are signing on. You can subscribe for free at moneytalks101.substack.com. And we're just trying to change our lives for the better, man, with some smart money decisions and learning how to save and invest and earn and spend better.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I can't tell you, dude, that's awesome. Black man teaching his daughter make some money. I love when we're starting to come together, and because I don't know about your situation, but a lot of times we're not taught that. All right, because depending on your situation, like my mom, the generation above me, they were in survival mode. You know what I mean? She was one of 10 kids. They lived over on 18th Street, going from house to house. You know what I mean? Apartment to apartment. So it's survival mode. It's different when you're in survival mode or when you're in thrive mode. And that's great that you're allowing her to be in thrive mode, because it's a whole different situation, than in survival. Dude, that's awesome. I'm so happy and everything. And then let everyone know where they can find you online.
Yeah, I'm at Twitter and all the social media platforms. X, I guess, is not Twitter. Instagram, all of that. At Darnell Mayberry, at The Athletic. Is all my Bulls coverage, and then at my personal finance blog for money is moneytalks101.substack.com.
Dude, great stuff up. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you.
Have a great week, Shawn. Appreciate you having me.
Likewise. All right, now, guys, that's Darnell Mayberry from The Athletic doing stuff, man. I told you, every time he comes on, I always got to ask about his daughter. I remember he's doing some stuff, teaching his daughter financial literacy, and I just think that's great. You know what? A lot of our parents didn't teach us that. Again, survival mode versus thrive mode, two different things. And when you're taught to invest, you're taught to do that. When that's part of your upbringing, it becomes part of your life. And we change our lives. We change the outcome of our families and for generations to come just by something like that. So I think that's awesome, man. Great. And D's a cool ass dude, man. He's been rocking with us since he first got here from OKC a few years ago. And I got nothing but mad respect for that dude. And then once I found out about that, what he was doing with his daughter, my respect grew for him. I didn't think it could grow anymore, and it grew like 10 times, because now he's giving back to his daughter, who's going to help other people. And it's just awesome. It's just great stuff, man. Let's take a quick break, about a minute break. And my next guest is a guy that, he needs no introduction, but he'll get one. But he'll get one. Man, he's the Bears beat writer for the Bigs. My guy Herb Howard is going to join me next. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Fields a run for 17. Back he goes. Here comes Chubb. There goes the ball. Touchdown! Jones will walk at the left tackle. Time for Fields. Now he'll accelerate to get the first down. Great tackles, and he's off to the races. Oh, he got a terrific block.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. learning to dig deep and push through adversity together, defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
So
from that ACL tear, Kyler Murray on 3rd and 4 airs it out for Rondale Moore on the sideline, and it's incomplete. Working against Kyler Gordon. It's been the fourth quarter that's been the problem for Chicago as Herbert gets the carry, and again, Khalil Herbert finds some room.
Personnel like this, 22 personnel.
Jones, the motion man, Fields with time, floats it for Cole Kmet, who pulls it in at the 48-yard line. Chicago. And Fields on a design quarterback run with a good block in front. Fields down the sideline, tiptoes his way out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Second down and goal. Khalil Herbert, the running back. And Herbert the carry. Trying to get to the edge. He does. Does he have speed to get to the end zone? He does! It's a Bears touchdown!
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Fox. Woo, Charlie, they got just those little highlights got the hairs on my arm to stand up. And if you wonder, and we're going to talk about this with my next guy. So I was in this little Twitter thing. So whenever I'm bored, so I read books and stuff. So I'm reading a book, the Atomic Habits, which is really good. And I got another one, Your Next Five Moves by Patrick Bet-David. That's my next book. When I get bored, I'll go on Twitter and start fucking around with people. And one guy says, I talked about the new OC and whatever. And I'm like, just watch his footwork. And this guy says, oh, so if you think footwork is good, he just has to work on his footwork and he's going to be better? LOL. And I said, I know I can't even talk. I said, do you even understand that this is a West Coast offense and footwork is key? I said, the fact that you made that comment shows me you don't know jack shit about football. I said something. I said, stay in your lane, Mr. Pop Warner, or something or other. Come on, dude. If you watch that throw to Cole Kmet, everything's in rhythm. It was, I don't know if it was a 5-step drop. It might have been a 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Hits the top, the top of his drop, bounce, throws it in time, the whole 9. That's the main thing. And when he says, well, you think just working on his footwork is going to make him a better quarterback? I was like, oh, boy. Okay. I know I need to talk remedial football with you, buddy. Let's bring out my guy, man. He's the Bears beat writer for the Bigs. You can find him on Twitter at Herb Howard 411. He's a big-time Justin Fields aficionado, as am I. Man, let's bring him out. My man, Herb Howard. Herb, what's up, Papa? How are you?
I'm good, Shawn. What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling much better after my little bout with the little congestion last week. I was just talking with Darnell. He's got the same thing I had, man. Coughing and phlegm.
Yeah, I've been having that too. Yep. I've been having the same thing. Still in my voice a little bit.
Yeah, I hear it. And it feels I got a shitload of throat lozenges. So if I like coughing, I got to pop one in. It's crazy. But let's talk about this, man. There's a lot of news that things happened yesterday. Cliff Kingsbury gets hired, or he leaves. He withdraws his name from the Vegas Raiders gig as an offensive coordinator. Goes to interviews with Washington. He becomes their offensive coordinator, and depending on what side of the fence you're on, like, well, it doesn't mean anything. Those are the Caleb lovers, the Caleb cult. Yeah. And if you're a Justin Fields guy like we are, we're like, well, man, that was his coaches at USC. It makes sense for him to go back. Give me your thoughts on that situation, Cliff Kingsbury, and does it signal anything to you about this whole Caleb Williams, Justin Fields situation?
I think if anything, it increases the likelihood that the Commanders would really want Caleb Williams, right? So I think, obviously there's the general desire to have the player, the prospect that he is, but now that you have his college coach in there as your OC, I'm sure he would love to have his college quarterback as the QB for the Commanders. And so hopefully he can get in there and convince the organization to do whatever they need to do to get that top pick so that he can draft his guy. I would certainly be for it. They got some assets in terms of, veteran players on that roster, and then also the capital that would come with moving down, even if you only move down one and then maybe move down again. But, Cliff Kingsbury certainly makes it a little bit more intriguing that he's in Washington and he could be advocating. I'm sure he's advocating for them to go up and get his guy.
I'm almost positive for it. And you know what? And I look at it differently. And, again, I love to mess with the jamokes on Twitter. And, and I tried telling them, I'm like, I said, truth be told, bro, I said, I don't think the Bears even have a choice. I'm like, listen, the NFL is entertainment. Okay. I'm like, what better way to get this struggling franchise? And I'm talking about the Washington Commanders. They still have the stink of Daniel Snyder on them. They got a new ownership group. You got Magic Johnson over there who understands the importance of marketing.
Right.
Okay. What better way to bring the hometown kid? One of my college teammates, one of my really good friends, was his high school coach at Gonzaga. All right. I didn't realize he could play with Olu Fashanu. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was talking to my guy. I was like, you had those two on your team? I was like, no wonder you wouldn't stay, dude. Damn. But I digress. To bring him back, it puts asses in seats. Jersey sales go through the roof
100%.
at $125, $150 a pop. And mugs can buy. Some people can buy 2 and 3 of them.
Yeah.
It makes sense financially. And I said, if once that trade happens, watch season ticket sales. What did it do to Chicago when Derrick Rose got drafted here?
Yeah.
What did it do to the Blackhawk population here in Chicago when Connor Bedard was coming here? This makes it's this is I kept telling people. This is chess. This is not checkers. NFL cares about this, about money.
Yeah.
And when they can help their franchises elevate, they can. That's my thought. And people are like, they're not going to do that. That's the conspiracy theory. I'm like, well,
it's been so funny on Twitter, man. Every now and then I got time for it and I have a little fun with it. But it'd be crazy. It's like you can't be on either side and do it.
Can't be.
With
Or you can be on the fence
or have some nuance. It's like it's crazy. Like, so when the Cliff Kingsbury news came out yesterday, I tweeted exactly what I just told you. Like, okay, maybe he's going to advocate for him to go ahead and get his guy. And some guys tweet.
You're a clown. How can you think that?
He's like, how are you rooting for other teams? I'm like, rooting for other teams? What are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? So it'd be interesting on Twitter for sure, man. But no, listen, there's a very passionate fan base out there in Washington. The Bears played out there this year and on a Thursday night, and going out there, it was a real passionate fan base. They were out there early tailgating. Everybody had their jerseys on during the game. I had family that was at the game, and so I came down from the press box sometime in the fourth quarter, and sat where my family was, and that fan base was raucous, man. My brother-in-law, he's had him a few drinks, so he's talking stuff. The Bears are whooping them, and I said, "Boy, they finna beat your ass in here. You better cool out, man." Like, they was.
We're in Chicago right now, Papa.
Yeah, they was passionate. So they definitely looking for a winner, and if they can get hometown kid to come there and be their quarterback, especially one that has this type of potential coming out of the draft, I'm sure that's what they want. And I'm hoping that the Commanders are willing to put together a package that will suffice for Ryan Poles and go ahead and get that pick.
What would your ideal package? Pause. Your ideal package. Your ideal trade package? What would that be for you, for the Bears to get for Washington to offer the Bears?
Well, I think the Bears need, like they did last year, need a veteran proven player. Last year was that receiver. Orioles.
He didn't do too bad.
Right, and they did a pretty good job with that last year. I think the Washington Commanders could offer them a similar trade package this year in terms of giving them some interior defensive line help. Right? They got DeRon Payne, they got Jonathan Allen. You know what I mean? Like move those guys as part of the package, and then also you want to get a second round pick back. You got to get a first rounder for next year. You know what I mean? At the least. So I would say, you can send one of those D tackles. You send your second round pick, next year's first round pick, maybe next year's 2. Then that may be enough to entice Ryan Post to say, okay, that package of players and prospects along with Justin Fields, is better than me just drafting Caleb Williams. And so I get all the hype around, Caleb Williams, and I hope he reaches his full potential. I really do.
So do I.
But, people were talking, like he's this first ballot Hall of Famer. He's the second coming of Patrick Mahomes. Like, y'all didn't know Patrick Mahomes was Patrick Mahomes. How you know this kid is Patrick Mahomes? You know what I mean? It's like, come on. And so, I just think that, and even if you're right, the only 3 times, since I've been old enough to really follow the sport like that, where I thought there was a can't-miss, surefire quarterback prospect coming out of the draft. It's Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and Deshaun Watson. That's the only 3 times I thought that about a player coming out in the draft. The Colts hit gold on that twice, right? They got Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck.
Want to hear a real quick story, bro?
My college Super Bowl in 20 years.
My college quarterback coach, my college offensive coordinator, was with the Colts. So he went from Peyton Manning to, this is how crazy he was. He went from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck, and then he went down to Tampa and was with Tom Brady. I'm like, Coach,
wow.
You got to be kidding me, dude.
Wow.
You got to be kidding me.
Wow. Maybe he the GOAT.
He might be, dude. Clyde Christensen, he was a quarterback. He went to North Carolina. Yeah. Coach Christian, he used to talk like this out of size about, hey, Shawnee, he used to talk like this. And his roommate, my roommate my freshman year was some guy named Lawrence Taylor. I was like, get out of here, Coach. He's like, yeah. He goes, we didn't room much after that. He was a little too wow for me. I was like, I can't imagine that, Coach.
That had to be interesting in and of itself.
I can't imagine that one. Yeah. I agree with you on that, and people think because you want Justin that we're anti-Caleb, but I'm not. All right. I don't think you are either. I want him to be extremely successful. All right. I just feel from my experience and from what I see that Justin is the best guy to run this team. And again, it's no knock on Caleb. Okay. It isn't. I hope he becomes an all-pro. I hope he becomes a gold jacket wearer. I do.
Me too.
All right. But the fact is, just because you're a gold jacket, yeah, just because you're a gold jacket doesn't mean that you're going to be the best person for this to lead. And that's what I feel. I think Justin is the best person for this team. Talk to me about what you see that they need on offense. What do you think they need? What about the center position? What about another running back? What about another offensive guard? What do you think they need in order? Give me the top 3 things they need offensively, because they're almost set defensively. They're almost set. You bring one of them 3 techs, you bring Deron Payne in this $90-something million contract over here, man, drafted edge, man, defense is set. But offense, where do you think they need to go?
Yeah, I think they need another dynamic weapon on the outside. Like, I think wide receiver is what they need the most. And that kid in Columbus fits the bill to a T. Now, you're talking about generational talent. I think he's the best player in this draft. So take the best player in the draft, right? And he's a need that you have. You put him out there on the same field with DJ Moore. I think by year 2, he becomes your best wide receiver. And now DJ's your second best wide receiver. Like, you got a real formidable wide receiver core right there. Now, maybe you can find, a friendly deal to bring back Mooney, and now he's strictly working out of the slot as your number 3, or you continue to develop Tyler Scott or whatever you're going to do at number 3. But you got Cole Kmet out there. You got a group of weapons that is hard to deal with. And you see all these teams that play late into the year, they've got multiple weapons, right? I know we talk about the Chiefs' weaponry or lack thereof, but they got, Patrick Mahomes. It's a different story. You know what I mean? They got the greatest tight end and the greatest quarterback. So it's a different situation. But to be able to have Marvin Harrison Jr. and DJ would be phenomenal. That being said, though, center is a really, really close second. They got to figure out this center position and have a legitimate starting caliber NFL center. Now, whether you do that via free agency or you do that in the draft, that's up to you. That's another concern that I have, too. Going back to the quarterback conversation, I don't want rookie center quarterback combination. I mean, sure they can grow and develop together, but that's going to take some time. It's going to take some losses. They're going to make some mistakes. They're going to miss some reads, some checks, some protections. And so I don't really want to see that combination with rookie center and rookie quarterback, but they need a center. So if they draft one, ideally, I would like to have a veteran quarterback back there with them. But wide receiver, center would be the 2 main needs that I see. They got to decide what they're going to do at left tackle. I know there's 2 really intriguing tackles early in the draft coming out. And they may want to go that route. I think they like Braxton Jones. Like, I think they still really like what he's able to bring. I think they still think he's still developing and has not yet reached his peak or hit his prime. I think he checks a lot of boxes for what they want to do in terms of his size, his length, his athleticism, his ability to get out on the edge. And so I think they still like the player that they have at left tackle. So I would be surprised to see them make a huge investment there in terms of, a top 10 pick.
What about tight end? What about tight end? There's a lot of good prospects.
Hey, if you go Marvin Harrison Jr. and you go Brock Bowers, I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that too. There are some other prospects that you can get a little bit later. So yeah, they need to get another tight end as well. You didn't get quite the season that you were hoping to get out of Robert Tonyan this year. And so they could certainly go that route as well. Running back, I know you're not gonna like the SuperBack, but it don't really matter. You know what I mean? Who they have back there. I think they got some good pieces back there right now. Khalil Herbert is a nice running back. Roschon Johnson took advantage of the opportunities he had. I just don't think in this day and age where they're throwing the ball around so much, if you don't have one of those top 2 or 3 backs, if you don't have Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, I just don't think it matters. You'll still be able to replicate the production. And so, unfortunately, I don't mean that to disrespect the position. It's just where it is in the game right now. It's not back in the day where everybody had a legitimate bell cow back that you can turn that ball and head it to 25, 30 times a game. It wasn't just Barry and Emmett and Thurman. It was the Natron Means of the world. It was everybody had one. You needed one. You know what I mean? So, the buzz. Everybody had one. And so, I just think that the league isn't that way anymore. It's about, can we get the same amount of production? I think they let go of David Montgomery. I love David Montgomery, but I thought it was the right decision to let him go unless you can get him at your number. He's clearly better than any back you have now left on the roster, but the production was the same. You know what I mean? And so that's how that's unfortunately where I think the running back position is right now. Could they use a scat back, a guy that has some home run ability? Sure, that would be cool to add into the mix. But other than that, I think whatever they do at running back, they'll be okay. So yeah, I view it wide receiver, center, tight end, and I like what they got on the interior. Right, like Nate Davis didn't have a great season, but they paid him. He's going to be there. Tevin Jenkins, I thought when he's healthy, he was their best lineman. So if he's still going to be there at your left guard, you still got to get that center position figured out. And I think they may be cool to roll up front.
Would you put Tevin back at right and Nate at left? And I know Nate has played right guard the majority, if not all, of his career. But man, that was a side of the line when you had Tevin and Darnell Wright on the right side. That was the side of the line that you had no worries. It's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. You know what I'm saying? Like they that's their strong side. Would you do that would you consider that? And say, hey, Nate, you got 30 mil, bro. You better get out of a left-handed stance.
Yeah, I would certainly consider it, man. I mean, you go back to, like we said, that old school football where the right side was your power side. You're going to be dominant over there. You're going to move guys around over there. And, those two dudes next to each other, absolute maulers, right? That's just a nasty side of your offensive line. And so, yeah, I would certainly consider it. I think that Nate Davis, he has a little bit of that nasty, but I feel like he's more of a finesse type of guy on the inside. I don't mean that as a knock. I just, he's a little bit more crafty, a little bit more. He's that kind of guy more so than to just move people around. And so you put those two dudes on the right side, Darnell and Tevin, next to each other, you can have a really formidable right side of your line.
Yeah, I think you do. You can, and an intimidating side of the line too. I think they're, because you gain reputations, all right, and we all know that Tevin Jenkins got a reputation for playing to the echo of the whistle, and Darnell's starting to get that same nasty reputation. You put those bad boys on the same side,
and now you can dictate what the defense does. Excuse me.
Yeah,
you can dictate what the defense does. You can predict what they're going to do now. If you are this strong on your right side, you're going to have a lot of teams flipping their best pass rusher to the other side. And it's okay, right? Now, at least I know where this guy's going to be, and I know how I can set some things up just based off the likelihood of what they're going to do. It allows you to just dictate a little bit more to that defensive front.
Talk to me about Shane Waldron. How are you excited that he's coming, and if so, why?
Yeah, I think, you got to like his background and some of the people he's been around Bill Belichick and, Pete Carroll. He's got some experience. He's been a play caller in this league for 3 years, which is something that the Bears have not it's not the path they've gone most recently, most often, right? And get a guy
Yep.
who's been a play caller already. And so I think that has to add some value. And, he's diverse in what he wants to do. It's not just this idea of, okay, this is my system. This is what we're going to do. Surely he has things that he likes to do. Surely he has, the coaching tree that he comes from. But he also has an ability to tailor the game plan based on the roster that he has. And so I think I'm intrigued by what he's going to bring. Real pass heavy. Got to see how that's going to go in terms of, having a little bit of balance and what that looks like in Chicago in December, January.
Yeah, exactly.
But other than that, I think I like the hire.
Talk to me about the staff there or something. They assembled quite a nice little staff, and underneath, you got Joseph, the man who's the QB coach, and then you have the passing game coordinator. And talk to me about what all those offensive minds. Can it be too many chefs in the kitchen, or do you think they're going to be able to coexist well and get the best out of Justin or Justin?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's too many cooks in the kitchen. I think a lot of people say that. I kind of view that as a bit of a cop out. Like, what you scared of, right? Let's get the best and brightest minds in the room. Let's sit down. Let's talk it out. And that's going to lead to some conflicts. That's going to lead to some challenging. That's going to lead to some arguments in that coach's room. But that's what that room is for, right? I think we should be doing this. You think we should be doing that? Well, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Now, at the end of the day, Flukes is going to have the final say. But everybody gets to present their ideas, and I think the more people that you can have in the room that are bright, that are passionate, that have done it before, there's a lot of experience that they brought in terms of not only coaching experience, but guys who play. You bring Ike Hilliard into that room, and now he becomes a great voice for DJ Moore. Ike Hilliard was a good player in this league for a long time. Not top tier guy, but that second tier that's really good, knows the game, and he's going to be able to communicate that to DJ, and he'd be a great resource for Marvin Harrison Jr. or whoever you bring in here to play wide receiver. So I like the fact that they brought guys with a lot of experience, not only playing but also coaching. They seem to be great teachers, great communicators, and also like they kept Chris Morgan around the offensive line coach.
I do like the multiple offensive minds because of Shane Waldron. If Justin Fields has a 3,500-yard season or better, all right, he's most likely going to get a head coaching gig, which is fine. But then you still have people underneath him. You have Corey Joseph. You have Brown, gentleman from Carolina, who interviewed for Thomas Brown, who interviewed for the OC gig here. So you have somebody who can step in right away and continue the same offense. So I really like the way that they layered that with the offensive system. I think that was really, really just smart. Just smart by Ryan Poles to do that. I'm really to this offense. Let me go to the other side of the ball. Eddie Jackson is a guy. He's got a really big cap hit. His play has declined. He hadn't been healthy the last couple of seasons. What do you think they do with him? His money comes off the books next year. You think they keep him for one more year? Or if they sign other people, you think they cut him? You think they try to ask him to restructure? What do you think they do with Eddie Jackson? Because Eddie Jackson can still make plays, not like he did back in the day in his first 2-3 seasons, but he's still a leader in that secondary. Or do you think it's just time for, like you said, cut bait?
Yeah, he's a really great leader in that secondary. Those guys look to him as their big brother back there, as the guy who can get them lined up and put them in positions. You saw him make some plays too. I go back to that Minnesota game, where the first game that Terrell Smith came in to start, and play one, they went right at him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fresh meat on the field. They went right at him on the deep ball, and Bojack, just as a savvy veteran, was able to get back there, get under that ball, and almost made a play on it to pick that ball off. Kind of caught it simultaneously with the wide receiver, but he wasn't even supposed to be there. They were in a completely different coverage. But his veteran savvy, his understanding told him to get back there, right? He knew they was going to go at him, and they did, and he was back there to make the play. So it was those types of things. Did a couple of those things throughout the year. His tackling was certainly suspect, especially down the stretch. You got to acknowledge that. He's never been a great tackler. That's not really his game. It's not really what he wants to do. But he's got to do better than he did a couple of times down the stretch. But I still think he's got the ability to make plays on the ball, and he's just a great veteran leader back there. So couldn't they find a way to restructure his deal to make it a little bit more cap friendly? Maybe they can do that. If not, then they may be trying to look to fill that position and say, hey guys, you had Big Bro long enough. It's time for y'all to step up. Jaquan, Kyler, you're going to bring Jalen back one way or the other. So I think that they may be willing to move on if they can find another playmaker there. You don't want to create a problem though, right? You don't want to create a problem. So you got to find somebody that you're really confident in. Whether you do that in the draft, which is most likely if they're going to do it, they would do it in the draft. But can you find somebody that you're really, really confident in? They got some young pieces that they like behind them. Elijah Hicks is a guy that's gotten a lot of time when his opportunities have presented themselves. But I think they're looking for if they're looking to replace Eddie Jackson, they're probably going to do it in the draft.
Yeah, I hope they do something like so if they keep him, and they got to get his replacement anyway. But I do hope they keep him for the reason because now you have a young man learning underneath Eddie Jackson for a year. All right. I think, and like I said, his money comes off the books next year. You know what I mean? So it's time for you to step up, second year guy. Here's a chance, so hopefully, but you're right. I think they do need a playmaker. They do need a ball hawk. And if they don't get a ball hawk, give me a guy who's going to literally draw a couple 15-yard penalties, some guy who's going to knock the shit out of people. You know what I mean? And because even though the game is softened a little bit, in their attempt to protect the players, I still think that still carries a lot of weight, especially if you're leading with a lot of shoulder to the ribs, shoulder to the, I think that still deters some receivers because you can get the 15-yard penalty, but if your man cracks a rib, that 15 yards is worth it. You know what I mean? So you can still be physical and affect the game. So if they don't get a playmaker, a guy who likes to pick the ball off, give me a guy who likes to knock some heads, that crack some ribs, and I'm cool. Just give me a rib cracker.
I think they need that. They need that ball hawk. I love those, hard hitting safeties too. Those guys in that, Steve Atwater, even guys that been here like Tony Parrish. You know what I mean? That was just lay the wood like that. But I think they have that. I think that's what Jaquan brings you. He's down and around the box. He hits tight ends. He hits running backs. He's a high energy guy. He loves the physical nature of the game. I think they need a guy who can play that deep center field, right? You don't really want Jaquan playing deep center field too often. And the Bears play cover 3, a lot more than people think, right? You talk about this cover 2, they go single high a lot. And they get Jaquan down in that box. I think they need a guy who can, get sideline to sideline and play that deep center field role. So I think, having a guy that has that type of range and can make plays on the ball is what they need if they're going to move off of Eddie Jackson. But I don't know what they are. Hopefully they can, find a way to make it, mutually beneficial to bring him back for at least another year.
Give me a couple of names that you'd like for them to grab. We know Marvin Harrison Jr. All right, let's just say that they make the trade with Washington, and you can't be Coach Ditka and Ricky Williams now. Don't make me laugh, folks. You make me cough. What other names? You didn't mention Brock Bowers. What about a receiver? Because there's a very big, very heavy receiver draft. You got Romeo Dunze. I know he'll probably. You got Neighbors, but you also got some other guys. You got the Xavier Leggett's of the world. You got other guys who are nice, tall receivers who are good. Who can really be difference makers because eyes aren't going to be on them. They're coming in as a number 2 or number 3, and we're talking like studs in the SEC and ACC. And who, is there anyone that you'd like beside Marvin Harrison Jr.? Or maybe it's a guard. Maybe it's a tackle. Maybe it's any other. Maybe it's a tight end. Any other guys that you would love for them to get, in addition to, MHJ
on offense.
Yeah, we'll go offense first.
All right, I like the center. I like what's his name, Austin Jackson, the kid from Oregon. I think
Jackson Powers Austin or Austin Powers. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, that guy. I like him. I think he's an intriguing prospect. He's a true center, right? He looks the part of a true center. He's a good communicator. They did a lot of things with that Oregon offense, and he was able to keep all of those things together mentally, right? And be able to point out all those checks and make all those protections, and he's good with the snap and the timing of it. They had a lot of timing things where guys are, jet sweeping across and he's snapping it right there. So I think that, he's a guy that I think is a very, very intriguing prospect that I would like to put, in the middle of that offensive line in front of Justin, the guy who's smart and get guys lined up, and then you put those maulers next to him. And so he's a guy that I think is really intriguing. I don't like, I don't know that you draft a center at 9, but you can, right? I know we get so caught up about, where we can take guys, where we can take certain positions.
Right.
Listen, if you can move down a few slots and get your guy, cool. That's always a good thing. But if not, I don't care. Like, if you need a center, you got to go right there, get him. It's fine with me, right? I feel the same way about Marvin Harrison Jr. He's the best player in the draft. If you can move down to 3 and get him, great. Then you accumulate some more stuff. But if you don't like that, you're not comfortable with where you can move down and still get him, take him at 1. You got the number 1 pick. You can take the best player in the draft if you want to. Now, certainly I want to move down and accumulate some more stuff for it. But, I think we make too much out of that, where you can draft certain positions. It's a little weird to me. But I like that kid. Like I said, I like Brock Bowers a lot too. I like defensively, I like the edge rusher from UCLA. I don't want to mess up his name. Leatu. He's a really, really intriguing prospect. He showed up pretty good this week at the Senior Bowl, and you can see his hand movements. You can see his counter moves. So he would start off with a move and then get to another move, and that's really something that you don't see too much from young pass rushers. They may be really good at one move, but if you can stop that move, they don't really have a counter. He's going spin move, he's going speed, he's going power, and he's able to transfer those things without breaking stride. So he's a guy that would be a very, very intriguing prospect to put opposite Montez Sweat.
Yeah, I like him too. And I know there's some injury history with him, but I do like him a lot. He's big. He's 6'5". I was like, damn, okay. So he's definitely got some size. I'm anxious to see how this plays out, and I know it's going to be a lot of just more jamokes for the next 2 months while we figure out. But when do you think this decision gets made? Do you think it goes to the draft? And I'm talking about the trade Justin or trade the number 1 pick, or do you think it happens after the combine? I mean, it can't happen this week. No news is allowed to happen during Super Bowl week. Everything is focused. It's Super Bowl centric, which I get. It's their baby. All right, it's the biggest event of the year. But would you think do you think this will happen again, like around the combine? Because everyone's good. I said yes. Who was I talking to? I said I see Ryan Poles walking. I know he's in the middle of a scandal right now, but walking into Indianapolis like Vince McMahon, just walking in like, what do you got? Give me your package. Give me your trade package. Give me your what do you got? I just see him. He just got all the leverage. Do you think it'll go right around the scouting combine then?
No, I think it happened early last year. I think this year he takes all the time, right? I think this thing go right up to draft day. I think they could be on the clock and before you hear about a move. I think that teams get desperate late and they want to come up and get their guy and they hold out for as long as they can. Then at that moment of truth, they're like, okay, we'll give you the extra pick. Damn,
fine, take it.
You go hold my feet to the fire like that. So I think that he may be wise to hold out on this thing as long as he can. And that's whether he is going to draft Caleb and move Justin, or he's going to stick with Justin and move the pick. I think either one could probably take a while to materialize. I think if he's going to move off of Justin, then that could happen sooner than I think moving off of the pick.
You know what? I think that the longer he holds it, the more people are going to start getting antsy because they're going to want their guy. And I think I feel that he gets that point. Last year, okay, it was early. It was cool. They got it. But I think this year it's because of the number of quarterbacks and the high regard that many people have for these quarterbacks. I think he's whatever he decides to do. I think the longer he waits, like you said, guys are like, all right, fuck it. I'll give you that extra pick. I need this guy. I need this guy. We need this guy here. We got the people, you know what I mean? And I think, and And I think that's the sign of a great GM. And I think Ryan Poles is on his way to becoming a great GM. And I think he's very good at this stage. He's only been a year and a half into into this whole thing. I think he'd be a great one. But when you understand what people, when you can read body language, you know what other people need, and then you just don't give it to them right away. Make them sweat a little bit. And I think that's what he's doing. And he's saying, hey, you know what? I don't have to make this trade. I don't
have to.
You want this guy, So I think I hope. I would like to get it done sooner, truth be told. But if it goes up to when they're on the clock, I'm cool with it. Because I know one thing I do feel, though, Herb, I feel he's going to have a contingency plan. Like, okay, he'll talk to who's number 3? New England
Patriots. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I know their head coach like, we're not going to trade. Okay, I get it. All right, fine. But there's a quarterback you want, and the Bears switch to number 2. I think there's a good chance for a double trade back, and I think he'll say, hey, listen, if this happens, we'll come to you and we'll work out a deal to go to 3. Give us, you know what I mean? I think he'll have those contingencies in place, and this could be one of the best things because, you understand how I feel about Justin because you feel pretty much the same way, dude. This trade, last year's number 1 pick could literally end up netting us 10 or 11 players.
Yeah,
and that's literally one side of the ball. You know what I mean? And it's first and second. It'll be first and second round players. We're not talking 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. This is literally first and second round players. 11 of your starting 22 is our first and second round players. That's how you build a team. That's how you build success. And those guys are for 4 years.
Exactly.
First year's for 5, fifth year option. That's how you build a team. And I just really love the way Ryan Poles is doing it, man. And I love the fact that he understands he's got leverage. I love the fact that he's going to make people sweat. All right, I love that fact, dude. I do, and let the old saying, just let him cook. But this next 2 months, it's gonna be fun as hell, bro. It's gonna be real fun. Herb, great stuff, man. As always, I love talking football with you, Papa. Do me a favor though, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online and see your eyes on TV. Superstar.
Yeah, you can follow me at Herb Howard 411. You can follow my work at It's the Bigs. Where you'll find my columns, my interviews, different interviews, one-on-one sit-downs with Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Jalen Johnson. All of those things are available on the Bigs YouTube page and the website as well. So definitely follow me. It's going to be an interesting race to the finish line as we approach this draft, and there's still so many things going to happen in between in terms of the combine and the interviews and 30 visits and all of that. So it's going to be an interesting time coming down to it, man. Shawn, I appreciate you having me on.
Man, as always, Papa, you got nothing but love over here, man. Hey, I will talk soon, all right? Thanks again.
Yes, sir.
All right. Guys, that's Herb Howard from the Bigs, talking Bears with your boy. I love it. The haul that we can get is unprecedented. I'm telling you, we literally 10, 11 guys from that one pick last year. And I think people will ask, they'll say, someone today, what have you seen? You've seen Justin Fields for 3 years, but blah, 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 blah. And they'll say things. And a lot of times I can't just say, like, I see shit you don't. It's like, oh, you're better than me? Like, no, I'm not better than you. All right. I just have a lot more football experience. All right. But I don't go down that road. I'm just like, yes. Oh, you think he can lead us? Yes. Oh, you're a clown. I'm like, yeah, okay, your mom was a clown. But there are certain things that I see from this guy that caused me to believe that he is that main dude. Okay. And I've reiterated them, ad nauseum, but I'll do it again. Okay. The throws we've seen him make, there's no throw that he can't make. There's no throw that we haven't seen him make. All right. We've seen him throw a drop in the bucket. Okay. We've seen him roll left, throw across his body. Okay. To a diving receiver past the outstretched arms of the defender. We've seen him throw, 100-mile-an-hour fastball in between 3 defenders, leaving a little John Elway X on your chest. They used to tease John because he would always throw the ball so hard. You've seen humpback line drives over a jumping linebacker. All right. We've seen drop in the bucket down the sideline. 3 or 5, 6 times a year we've seen it. Okay. Not to mention what he does with his legs. Right? There's nothing when this guy gets coached properly. Watch out. Watch out. I'm telling you, you don't have to agree with me. That's cool. I really don't care, because I tell you, I know what I see. You know what? I know what I see. And the reason that some people, myself included, are apprehensive about moving off of him is because I know what I see. All right? I know what I see. I don't have an agenda. Like, if I didn't see, this from Justin, I'd be like, okay. Yeah, he doesn't do this. He doesn't do this. He got it. Dude, you start with his feet. And man, everything else falls into place. And I'm telling you, Justin Fields will be a top 10 quarterback if coached properly. And that's saying a lot. All right. And you got people like Patrick Mahomes. You got people like Joe Burrow, although he just lost his offensive coordinator, only one he's known in the NFL. You got people like Josh Allen. You got people like Jalen Hurts. You got people like Tua. You got a lot of great quarterbacks. Justin is up there with them talent-wise. Now he just needs to be coached. And if this guy, Shane Waldron, can bring the best out of him, dude, he is going to be a top 10 quarterback. Hands down. He will be one of the faces of this league. And if he's not coached well, but my optimism comes from looking at the track record of Coach Waldron. Okay, look at the people he's coached. He resurrected Geno's career. Justin is better than Geno. Justin's more talented than Geno. Get him playing within himself, and the talent takes over. You get him playing well. Sky's the limit for that dude, for this offense, and for this Bears team. And Nomad said something to me yesterday. We were talking, and he said, don't ever put, because we can't put. He didn't say it to me. We were in the group. He was just like, he goes, I can't put limits on. He goes, what about injuries? What if guys take a bigger jump than you thought, or than anyone thought? You know what I mean? And it's possible, because we were talking, and I said, I said, I think the Bears can get to the divisional round this year. Okay, maybe the NFC title game. I don't see a Super Bowl, but he's like, why would you put limits on it? He goes, what if the Bears are hitting their stride, and the team that they're facing has their left tackle out, or their center's out, and now you really got an advantage there, can really affect the game. And I was like, you know what, you're right. But I think the Bears make the playoffs, and I think they have a nice deep run in the playoffs, maybe to the divisional round. Well, listen, 2 hours has come and gone. I want to thank my guest, Darnell Mayberry from The Athletic, for joining me, talking Bulls basketball and about his financial endeavor. I think that's pretty dope. And I also want to thank Herb Howard for coming on. He's a Chicago Bears beat writer for the Bigs, coming on talking Chicago Bears football with me. Guys, we have awesome stuff today. So at 12:15, we have Second City Sports with Lakina McGee and Sydney Brown. At 3 o'clock, I will be on with Nomad. I'm not sure if it's going to be on Sports Zone Chicago. We got to get all that information over there. But if not, check me out on his platform, Nomad Network. We're going to start doing that a week on a more consistent basis, talking football during the day. So 3 o'clock today, I will be on there. 6 o'clock tonight, What's Up Cuz? It'll probably be an encore presentation of What's Up Cuz. We got you covered, baby. We got you covered here at Sports Zone Chicago. I'm excited to talk about and have you guys see the new thing that I'll be doing with Nomad, talking football. All right. So listen, for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. Thanks to Elliot Baez, our executive producer, Clarence Council, our social media guy, my co-host, Adam Sencha, Maya guy. Enjoy today's weather. This week's weather is going to be 40s all week. All right. In February, that is amazing. Guys, tell your loved ones you love them. Let them know. Send a text to somebody you care about out of the blue. I'm your boy, Superback Shawn Sierra, and I am out.